This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you a daily word from men. And the word for today is pleasant. And today is January 23rd, 2025. The Lord is all I need. He takes care of me. My share in life has been pleasant. My pot has been beautiful. The young man excitedly jumped into the back of the truck loaded up with other surfers. He was looking forward to the day ahead. He and his friends joked and laughed as they traversed over the windy gravel roads. Cresting the hill, all of them fell silent. The surf break was just visible through the trees, and the full view was about to be unleashed. Smiles were shared with raising of eyebrows and an old wink in anticipation. Rounding the bend, the truck skidded to a halt, and an awed hush commenced. Perfect waves crested and peeled off along the break. The silence was shattered with shouts of joy and bangs on the truck to get the driver going. The vehicle gunned its engine, gravel peppered the brush behind, and they were away, soon to be enveloped in the ocean's energy. Hours later, exhausted from squeezing out every last ounce of vigor, the lads in silence as the sun set over the ocean. Bright colors splashed across the cirrus clouds, which drifted slowly by. As the anticipation of the day fully met, the young man's enjoyment was complete. And the question to us is, what is the recent experience that reminded you of how pleasant life in Christ could be? Well, a couple of years ago, I went to the wedding of my nephew in Georgia, in the mountains of Georgia, in the Adirondacks. Well, they call it a Blue Mountain there. And it was a different kind of wedding. There was a chapel there, but uh, they had old covered wagons as the food vehicles. And they rode down in a covered wagon, went to the chapel, got married, and we ate from the covered wagons. It was totally different than anything. The food was absolutely delicious. There was one set up as a bar, one set up with the food, and one set up with snacks. And they had a separate one they rode in with the wedding party. And the minister performing the wedding, it was overlooking a whole range of mountains, and it was just absolutely beautiful. The sun was setting behind the mountains, and I took a picture of them as the sun was setting in all the colors, orange. It was just wonderful, wonderful. I had never seen a wedding like that. And I also have an experience of, I went to Hawaii for a scuba diving trip because Rhode Island is a cold water state, and you don't you see cold water fish, but you don't see the colors and the beauty of the fish that you would see like in Hawaii. And it was absolutely beautiful to spend a day scuba diving and then sitting on the beach with some food that we had brought with us and watching the sun go down. Absolutely beautiful, praising God for the glory of His universe. And then the next day, as we were leaving, going to get to the airport to take off, and our flight was from Honolulu to Newark Airport in New York. but it was later at night, and what we did was we spent the morning at the beach, and the waves were tremendous. And just watching the surface, I've never been good at surfing, but it's absolutely amazing to watch, and unbelievable to see God's power behind the waves. And some of these guys riding a tunnel, it was, I can picture it in my mind right now, and it was something else. Uh, so those are two recent examples. I love scuba diving. I love going under the water, the quietness, and looking at the fish, and seeing the vegetation and coral reefs. Just most people don't get to see that, and it's so amazing, so very amazing. And I took my scuba test in Rhode Island in March. It was very, very cold. I mean, that water was cold. And you, well, you see cold water fish, you see cod and haddock and stuff like that, but you don't see the colors in Hawaii are unbelievable. So I thank God for both of those days. It's something I'll never forget. And you read this, how much David in this psalm and other psalms, you read how much he loved God. And if you read Samuel, second chapter, 2 Samuel, it's in chapter 5 or 6. One of Saul's daughters hated him, and she was up in a window when they were moving the Ark of the Covenant, and David was before going crazy and dancing. They had flutes and cymbals, just joyous over the fact that God was with them in the Ark of the Covenant, and they were moving it to some guy's house for 3 months, and then it would go to the tent that David had made, and she came up to him. Oh, you think you're something? Oh, servant girl, seeing you dancing like that. And he says, I was full of joy of the Lord, and he said, that's why I did it. I wasn't trying to attract anyone. And his joy in the Psalms comes through. Other emotions come through in different Psalms, but my part has been beautiful. So it's just, it reminded me of that. So God bless. Have a safe and holy day, and we will see you tomorrow.